Alright guys, this video is going to be more of a suggestion video, if you will. If you've watched any of my content, you probably know I don't really, it's mostly unscripted, unedited, mostly reviews, and just kind of documenting my journey. You know, I buy, use computer parts, try to build computers with them as cheap as I can and sell them for a small profit. Not trying to get rich, I just enjoy doing it. It's just something to tinker with. But what started it off was a couple years ago. I was just a humble console peasant, and I wanted to get into computers, and I didn't know anything about them. Growing up, I didn't really, have a computer. Like, our mentality was like, you're rich if you had one, and as you know, they're far more accessible today. And whenever I wanted to get into computers, I realized I didn't know anything about them. I didn't really have any close buddies that could help me build one. And at the time, starting off, I got a laptop. I know a lot of people were, laptops are junk, why not build a desktop? But starting off, for starters, laptops have gotten way, way better over the years. Like, the one that you see here was actually my second laptop. The first one, my mother got me for a Christmas gift. It was just a Asus VivoBook. Actually, I gave it to my wife after I got my new one. And she never turns it on. This is actually it right here. Having to update because it hasn't been turned on in several months. I kind of use mine as a desktop, and I use hers as like, since she never uses it, just kind of a YouTube video player. Whenever I'm in the kitchen, that's where I normally build the kitchen table. This video may take a while. I'm trying not to ramble too much, but anyway, starting off, I didn't have a designated area or a desk, to put a desktop computer. I normally just played in our bedroom on the TV or the living room on the TV because, again, I was on console. But when I got started and got my first laptop, it only took a couple of months to realize, like, man, this thing is not capable of, high-speed gaming and stuff. Like, I played Age of Empires. That's what I played when I was a kid at a friend's house. I loved that game. I go way back. I've been playing it for 20-something years. And I saved up and got an actual gaming laptop, which is the Zephyrus M16 ROG. Thing is a beast. It's got a 3070 Ti and an i9 12th gen. And man, there's nothing I've thrown at it that I couldn't play in ultra settings. The fans are kind of loud. I'm hard of hearing, and I wear a headset, so it doesn't bother me at all. But again, starting at the beginning of the journey, I'm on the kitchen table playing because I don't have an actual desk set up. And before long, I got a second monitor added to it. I'm still at the kitchen table. My wife, who did not want to give me a designated spot in the house for a desk, eventually wanted her kitchen table back. So, at the time, starting out, yeah, I would have got a desktop, but the laptop was more practical because I kind of, like, when our friends were over and we were hanging out, like drinking on the porch and stuff, the laptop was just a better choice because I could still hang out, with people and have my laptop with me wherever we went. And man, I just got hooked. But the whole point of this video is when I started out, I'm one of those people that just deeply reviews everything before they buy it and looks at the best options. I've always been a YouTube junkie ever since it came out. And I started out on Jarrod's Tech, which is an Australian guy that pretty much taught me everything I know at the beginning about laptops. I watched every video he had almost on, it was 2022 when I got mine. And every laptop review he had, I consumed all the content he had, just trying to figure out what my best choice was. ended up spending like right at $2,000 for my laptop. And once I got it, man, I just became a junkie when it came to tech content. I just loved seeing what was new, what was out there, what I could potentially be missing out on. And man, it just went from there. And to next thing you know, it's like I actually wrote a list out, because that's the whole point of this. I'm just, I know my content's not that great yet. I'm getting there. Appreciate everybody bearing with me that is still, following along. Eventually I will get the editing thing down and all of that, but I work 60 hours a week as a full-time butcher. I actually am the head butcher at a very popular butcher shop in my area in Texas. And I don't have a whole lot of time, and I'm learning as I go. But like I said, Jarrod's Tech was the one that started it all for me. And with me not being that great at editing or anything yet, I know my content's not the best. I'm learning. I put together a list of people that you'd much better time spent watching them instead of me. And they're all really great guys and girls and have great content. But we'll start at the top. Techsource is a great one. That's Edgar that does the setup wars. That's what got me hooked on Techsource. I love seeing people's setups and just how over the top they could get with it. It's just fascinated me. Just how far you could go with just, there was always something else extra you could add and make your setup just a little better. And then PC Rehab, love this guy, man. Like, he actually kind of got me into, between PC Rehab and Elijah's Lab. I saw how they were buying, used components and putting them together and flipping them. And man, I just immediately wanted to get into it. And the whole thrill of the hunt and finding parts on Facebook Marketplace it just was the best thing ever at the time. I'm hooked, still at it. Like that's kind of what inspired me to start everything that I'm doing now. But like I said, Techsource, PC Rehab, Elijah's Lab. Another kind of newer one that's like me starting out, does the same thing, buys and puts them together and flips, is Budgetiers. That's another great one. Those three are smaller channels that are just kind of coming up, but they put out great content like weekly. I've definitely checked them out. Jay's 2 Cents, of course, everybody knows, he's been around for a while. Greg Salazar does he does a couple of different series, but the one that got me started on him was the Fix or Flop. I love, and I learned from a lot of this stuff too. Everything I know, I've learned from YouTube. I don't really have anybody close in real life that cares anything about computers like I do. So it's great to have these links to learn from and to relate to. And Toasty Bros is another big one, that everybody knows have been around for a long time. Archetype Origins does some really cool builds. DLM Tech Garage, that's another kind of small channel that's kind of like me, just does the same thing, buys and flips computers and used hardware, does commission builds. Bitwit, everybody knows, he's great, really funny guy. Nerd on a Budget, another smaller channel that he actually brings with him when he buys used hardware. He has like a on-the-go like UPS and monitor and everything in the trunk of his car, so he can test the hardware right there when he gets it. He's a really smart guy, fun to watch. The Provoked Prawn, very knowledgeable guy. Kind of has that monotone voice, but very smart guy, has great content. He's so thorough. Tech Yes City, another Australian guy that kind of does the same thing, used PC parts. He actually, I believe, owns his own PC store, like legitimate business. Then you got LTT, everybody knows LTT. Linus Tech Tips. PC Centric, that's a great one. it's pretty much just a list I put together for you guys. You know, I know the algorithm sometimes is kind of wonky, and you may be missing out on these guys, and they all have great content you guys need to check out. But I put the list together, and actually I'm going to use it for the thumbnail, so that way, you know, I don't have to link all these in the description. You can see it and look it up yourself on your own time. Just as some suggestions that, like, you know, kind of, I know my content's not that great, just throwing out some stuff I watched that inspired me, that has much better content than I do, that you guys might want to check out. You know, just kind of, they got me started, inspired me. I kind of want to just give back and try to, you know, promote them as much as I can, because all really great content creators. Anyway, that's pretty much the whole point of this video. It's just kind of plugging all the people that I really, you know, enjoy watching. Thanks. Peace out.